Hello, my name is Lewis and welcome to day 3 of Decktober. Today we're looking at a $60 budget Korvold Fae-Cursed King deck tech. Korvold is a 4/4 Dragon Noble with flying that says whenever it ETBs or attacks, sacrifice another permanent, and when you sack a permanent, Korvold gets a 1/1 counter and you draw a card. This budget brew is all about treasure. We're going to have millions of ways to be quickly creating treasures that we can not only use as ramp, but feed to Korvold, getting him super strong, and then make him fly all over your opponents and smack them in the face for the victory. Now, let's get straight into the $60 budget deck tech. As always, we're coming in hot with the ramp. Starting with Growth Spasm to search out a basic land and also create you a 0/1 Eldrazi you can either use for ramp or sacrificial fodder for Korvold. And there is Harrow to sacrifice a land and put 2 basic lands onto the battlefield untapped. We have Roiling Regrowth to sacrifice a land and put 2 basic lands onto the field tapped, and classic Commander staple Arcane Signet to get a colour of any Jund. We're in Signet City now with Golgari and Gruul Signet. And to round off the ramp we have Rakdos Signet and Sol Ring, because Sol Ring. Because this deck is generating an insane amount of treasure which we can use for mana, the need for more ramp in a deck like this isn't as essential. Now before we get onto all of our ways to create treasure, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for all things MTG. It's completely free to do, it helps the channel grow and grow as we head towards 2,000 subscribers. For this section we're going on a treasure cruise and showing you all the ways to get that gold. First we have Gleaming Barrier that when dies creates a treasure token, and there is Impulsive Pilferer that when dies creates a treasure token with that encore mechanic to bring it back and sack again, because Korvold is hungry. There is Kalane Reclusive Painter that ETBs and creates a treasure token and gives other creatures entering +1/+1 for each treasure used to cast them. And we have Plundering Barbarian, another ETB entering treasure creature creator. Next up there is Prosperous Innkeeper to ETB and create us a treasure and gain us a life anytime a creature hits our side of the field. And there is yet another treasure ETB creature creator in Skullport Merchant that we can also gain some tasty card draw off. We have Seize the Spoils where we discard a card but get to draw 2 cards and create a treasure token, and Deadly Dispute to again draw 2 cards and create a treasure token, but after sacking an artifact or creature. Having cards like this are perfect because not only are we gaining our beloved treasure, but sacking anything will trigger Korvold, beefing him up and gaining us some extra card draw. There is Unexpected Windfall to again discard 1, draw 2 and create a treasure token, and Gadrak the Crown Scourge that will create us treasure on our end step for each non-token creature that died that turn. For one of the potentially best cards in the deck we have Academy Manufacturer that says if we will create a food, clue or treasure token, instead create 1 of each. That is value. We also have Fey Offering that at the beginning of each end step, if you've cast a creature and non-creature spell that turn, you get to create a food, clue and treasure token. That is even more value. Next we have Tireless Provisioner that will create you a food or treasure token every time a land hits your side of the battlefield, and Brass's Bounty that will create you a treasure token for each land you control. If you're late into a commander game, then this is essentially free value. Next we have Shambling Ghast that will create us a treasure when leaving the battlefield, and Stormkiln Artist that will create us a treasure token every time we cast an instant or sorcery spell. There is Hoarding Ogre that will create us potentially 3 treasure every time it attacks, if you're that lucky with the dice roll, and Sudden Breakthrough that will beef a creature, give it first strike and create you a treasure token. We've packed in Ruthless Knave to sack a creature and create 2 treasure tokens, and Tempting Contract, a brilliant commander card that says at the beginning of your upkeep each opponent may create a treasure token, and for each opponent that does, you get to create a treasure token too. From Ixalan we have Contract Killing that destroys a target creature and creates you 2 treasure tokens, and Grim Bounty to again destroy target creature or planeswalker and create you a treasure. For a bit of spicy food we have Gilded Goose and the Underworld Cookbook to discard cards and create some food. For the final 4 token creators we have Strike It Rich to create a treasure token with that flashback option, and Visions of Ruin to make each opponent sack an artifact and we get a treasure token for each opponent who had done so. Again, with that added flashback option. Finally, there is Prying Blade and Goldvein Pick that will create a treasure whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to an opponent. With all the many ways of getting that treasure, we also have a couple of cards that will really sync up well with those treasure tokens. First up is Feign the Broker to allow us to sacrifice an artifact and create a 2/1 black Inkling creature token with flying. And we have Costly Plunder to sacrifice an artifact or creature and draw 2 cards. There is Disciple of the Vault that says when an artifact is put into a graveyard from play, you may have target opponent lose 1 life. And, of course, we've brought in the always frightening pair of Witch's Oven and Cauldron Familiar. The Oven will allow you to sack a creature and create a food, and the Devilish Cat says whenever it ETBs, each opponent loses life and you gain life. And if you sacrifice a food, you can bring it back from the graveyard to the battlefield. We all know the routine: throw the cat in the oven, bring it back, throw it in, repeat. Out of context, that sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? As always, now we're looking at the removal, recursion and the best of the rest in this budget deck. First, we have some instant win cons with Hellkite Tyrant that says whenever it deals combat damage to a player, gain control of all artifacts that player controls, and at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you win the game. For a deck that's all about those treasured artifacts, this is absolutely incredible. There is also Feedback Bolt that can deal damage to target player equal to the number of artifacts you control. That again could be an instant opponent KO. We have Second Harvest to potentially double all of our treasures, and Zorn that says if we would create a treasure token, create that token plus another one. For some Korvold attack triggering sacrificial fodder, we have Squee the Immortal and Reassembling Skeleton. Bring them out, sack to Korvold, beef up Korvold, bring them back again, and repeat. We have Viscera to sack a creature and scry 1, and Village Rites to sack a creature and draw 2 cards. Onto the removal, we have Terminate to destroy target creature, and Budget Breaker Chandra's Ignition that says target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. Yet another potential win con, or just a big bad board wipe. The aim in this deck is to sack so much stuff constantly through all that treasure that Korvold will be super strong and just obliterate your opponents. We have Fling to again sack a creature and have that creature deal damage to 1 target, potentially your opponent's face, and we have Kazul's Fury to do exactly the same. There is Putrefy to destroy target artifact or creature, and Thrashing Brontodon to destroy target artifact or enchantment. We have added Victimize to sack one of your creatures and return 2 creatures from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped, and Reckless Fireweaver that deals 1 damage to each opponent whenever an artifact enters under your control. There is Tend the Pests to sack a creature and create X amount of pests where X is sacrificed creature's power, and there is Animation Module to have that option to pay 1 and create a servo so Korvold has even more sacrificial fodder. We have added in some Commander staple protection in Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots because we don't want Korvold going anywhere anytime soon. Finally, we have Snake Umbra for that nice little bit of extra protection and an extra source of card draw when Korvold gets that damage through, and Underhanded Designs that says when an artifact comes into play on our side of the field, we can pay 1 and each opponent loses life and we gain life, which we can also sacrifice to destroy target creature. Devilish stuff. Now we're moving on to all of the lands, which in this budget Korvold brew there are 10 Swamp, 10 Mountain and 9 Forest. We also have trusted Commander staples in Command Tower and Exotic Orchard to give us some nice mana flexible options. We've added in more staples in Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse to sack and fetch out a basic land tapped. And we have Rogue's Passage to make Korvold unblockable, and hopefully Korvold's trigger will be drawing you plenty of cards, so we've also added in a Reliquary Tower. And last but by no means least, we have Gingerbread Cabin to give us that final token giving option. I think all that food has made me full now. Korvold is rightfully one of, if not the most popular commander in all of Magic the Gathering, and this budget treasure variant is one that I'm sure that I'm going to build myself in the very near future. Make sure to check out Decktober Day 4 tomorrow, where we'll be looking at another cool new commander option from Innistrad Midnight Hunt. There we have it, that is the Korvold $60 budget deck tech. Thanks for watching, and make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for all things MTG. Check out our link tree in the description below for all of our social media and affiliate links. For now though, I am all tapped out, so I'll see you in the next video.